he has a mission in life. His mission is to try somehow to help mankind,
Hmm.
save people. And this is his mission. Tornado Intercept.
You're watching the Spotlight Network, starring Hollywood's newsman,
And if you were just
Logan
trying to get your
Crawford.
investigators, they now believe a single member.
He works with TV and film legends. And now, Logan's shining the spotlight on the world's top emerging authors and creators.
International were abducted.
This is Spotlight with Logan Crawford, streaming on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire TV.
I'm Logan Crawford, and right now on the Spotlight Network, we're diving into a high-stakes thriller that blends natural disaster with military might. The name of the book we're talking about today is Tornado Intercept, and it is written by a terrific author by the name of Richard McKendrick. When a devastating tornado obliterates a small town, killing innocent civilians, a team of elite Air Force pilots dare to challenge Mother Nature with state-of-the-art technology and sheer courage. This is a gripping story of loss, innovation, and the unrelenting pursuit of saving lives. We're delighted to have this very talented author join us here today on Spotlight. We thank the team at Good River Print and Media for helping us put him in the spotlight today. And we ask viewers like you to support authors like him by subscribing to our channel and by purchasing his amazing book, which is now a screenplay as well. By subscribing to our channel and taking care of the good work here and rewarding it by buying this book. Richard, thank you so much for joining us here today.
Good to be here.
Great to have you on the show. What inspired you to write a story centered around tornadoes?
Well, we were in a tornado
Hmm.
and we witnessed the damage and destruction. And it was terrifying. Now, the stories you hear about tornadoes is true.
Yeah.
When we got into town, it was green. The color of the sky was green.
Hmm.
And I I would advise people to get in the basement when it's green.
Yeah.
And so it was quite devastating and scary.
Did it hit your home or anything?
We 1 block away
Okay.
from
Yeah.
total devastation.
Yeah, it's amazing. The path of a hurricane of a tornado rather, is very distinct. You can have one house standing there fine and the other one blown to smithereens because of the power differential. It's just amazing. And did it sound like a freight train rumbling through? That's what you often hear. Did you hear the
Oh yeah,
noises that went with
yes,
it?
yes.
Yeah,
We heard
amazing.
we heard the noise, and of course we're running around like idiots trying to shut off the lights or turn them on. There was
Yeah,
no power,
yeah,
so I mean you do stupid, crazy things.
yeah,
Do crazy
absolutely,
things.
absolutely. So that tornado inspired you to write this. You started thinking about how could they possibly be stopped? Is that what it was?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I come up with a story idea. I have some family that was in the Air Force, and of course we all love Top Gun and things like that. Uh, but yeah, it was quite surreal to write the story, being in a tornado and then knowing some jets and things like that. We we had air shows here for 20 years with Thunderbirds and and things like that. So yeah, that inspired me to do all that.
is the science or the technology there to combat tornadoes using military power, as you suggest in your book? Is that grounded in real science at all?
Well, yeah, they use chloride types of material to put into hurricanes and stuff. They
Yeah,
do that kind of stuff. They do experimental things. Um, I think technology will take us down that path.
yeah,
And in 10 years, it could be reality.
yeah. Yeah, if we could control the power, if we control that, air power differential, as I mentioned, we could save a lot of lives, and it is quite a tragedy. Let's talk about Colonel Cutler and his aim to dedicate his life to preventing tornado disasters. Talk to us a little bit about him as a character and how that tragedy shapes the mission.
He starts out as a sergeant, and he's in the Air Force, of course. they are flying a mission, but they come upon a storm, and I guess his wingman,
Mhm.
I'd call it, was caught by the wind shear of a tornado. He was killed.
Hmm.
So then, not bad enough of the devastation of his life, his family was taken out in a tornado in Shelbyville, which is part of the story,
Yeah.
and the son is paralyzed. So he has a mission in life. His mission is to try somehow to help mankind,
Hmm.
save people, and this is his mission. Tornado Intercept.
Wonderful. Who would play the Colonel in a movie if this were to be made into a film?
Oh, geez, Clint's not available.
If we could find a young Clint, that would be great. We need to find
Yeah.
another Clint Eastwood. His sons aren't quite cutting it. You know, he's got Scott Eastwood out there, kind of looks like him, but we need a powerful Clint Eastwood back there again for sure. So yeah, I agree. A young Clint Eastwood would be perfect. And speaking of movies, you have written a wonderful screenplay that we have reviewed here at the Spotlight Network, and it's just terrific. Tell us a little bit about putting that together.
I had a great writer. She wrote it. Janelle Pratt wrote it, and she helped me put it together. And she really helped turn it into a great screenplay.
Yeah.
I mean, I know screenplays are different today. People write them different. People do things different. But when I had it done, I thought it was fantastically done.
Yeah,
She did such a wonderful job. Hats
absolutely.
off to Janelle. Yeah.
Yeah, she really took the book, captured the essence, and brought it to life within the format of a screenplay. And I think this would be amazing on the big screen. You've got military technology, you've got real life heroes, you've got natural disasters. I mean, like you said, look how successful Top Gun is. Look how successful Twister is. And look at those two
Yeah.
films, merge them together in a way and you've got your film, and I think it would be just wonderful. So we'll keep our fingers crossed that it winds up on the right desk in Hollywood because it's terrific. Talk to us a little bit about how your film and your book explores the ethical dilemma of using potentially deadly technology to save lives, particularly in unpredictable situations like natural disasters.
And you got to figure that when they use the smart bomb to dissipate a tornado, people will say, well, what's stopping it from hurting people on the ground? Well, when you have a F3 tornado on the ground, it isn't going to matter what's underneath it.
Right.
So that dilemma there is put to rest. But yeah, I think the technology, like we talked about, is there,
Mm-hmm.
and it can be brought forth with to, you know,
Absolutely. There's got to be a way to disrupt the tornado before it's such a destructive force. And like you said, we've seen it a little bit in Twister, and now you have taken a strong leap with the military might, and I think it's a great angle. Talk to us about Mike and Josh and the role that faith plays in this book.
well, one's religious and one's partially not.
Mhm.
So they go by they keep their faith, they keep their faith strong. So yeah, they are a great force. Well, they tease Josie, JoJo, the pilot, the
Mhm.
only female. They tease her a lot, but in reality, she is if as good as them, if not better. So
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, it's a, absolutely a fascinating combination. Characters that seem very, very real. Did you base these characters on anybody you know?
yes, well, I used my grandkids' names.
Hmm.
I used Aiden. I used JoJo, of course, Josie,
Yep.
and Richard McKendrick is me. So,
Great. That's
so
wonderful.
yeah, yeah. I wanted to use their names. Cole,
Yep.
Cole's
Yep.
in there.
It's a great shout out to everybody and a nice hat tip for yourself for doing the work. Um, do you feel that our climate is changing? Do you feel we're a little bit to blame? Do you think severe storms and tornadoes and hurricanes and all that stuff is happening because of what we're doing to the environment?
Partially, I wouldn't blame it all on the environment, but I'm saying that because you go back in history and you see where all these devastating storms came
Yeah.
through way back when. That wasn't an environment. I think it's more where your lows and your highs. Your lows come in, they cause all kinds of damage and trouble. During the storms.
Yeah.
So I think the weather has a lot to do with that.
Exactly. Exactly. I think we probably are contributing somehow. I mean, I think even the fact that this planet is growing in population and we're blacktopping more of it, putting down more asphalt, producing more things. So I think it
Yeah.
is inevitable. And I think climate does change naturally on its own as well. But certainly things are changing. We do see more severe storms than we did when we were growing up, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And I lean that way too. I just, you just, it's nature. So what do you do with nature?
Yeah.
Can't
Exactly.
control nature.
Well, you've got a good idea what to do with it, a military intercept, which I think is a good idea, trying to disrupt that power when you can. And I think that is the goal of many. Talk to us a little bit about the emergence of the second tornado, the twin in the story, and what that reveals about the limits of human intervention in natural disasters.
Or like in anything, if they destroy one funnel cloud and then there's a sister, they would have to come all the way back around
Right.
to maneuver back into position to shoot that one down if it don't dissipate. Because if they dissipate quickly, then there's no need.
Yep.
But yes, there
Yeah.
is twins, and there
Yeah.
always will be.
Like you said, the triplets and quadruplets and quintuplets and whatever comes after that. There's always another storm coming. I mean, that's
Sure.
the sad reality. Yeah, yeah, without a doubt. Now, you mentioned you named the characters after your grandkids. How old are your grandkids? Have they been able to understand that Grandpa has written a book here? Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, absolutely, because I'm their grandpa. They love the story,
Yeah.
and right now they're all about that age. They weren't that age when I wrote it, but now
Mhm.
they're 25, 27, 28. They're in
Yeah.
that age group of the Gen Zers. So, another thing is shout out to the Gen Zers. This might be something they would enjoy watching as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, that's very, very cool that your grandkids have grown up to be young men and women and that they are able to enjoy the book on a whole other level. How long ago did you write the book and what was it like writing it?
It was in 2014 when I wrote the book. It's been a
Amazing
while.
how fast time goes, right?
Oh man, I tell you. Well, after some medical setbacks, I had to kind of like slow down.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was about 2014. I ran it by the kids. They read it. I said, "What do you think?" They said, "Yeah." They liked it. Of course, they're going to say that they liked it. Of course. Uh, and then my other grandson Cole had to
Yeah.
read the script. No, forget the book. He wanted the script.
Right. That's very cool. Maybe you get them a part in it. The writer often has a lot of say in the movie production, so maybe you'll get him a role. That would be great.
That would be nice.
Interesting in your screenplay and in the book, you portray the media in an interesting way. Terry Danson is the reporter,
Yeah.
and she plays a part in shaping public perception of the military intervention in this weather-related crises. Tell us a little bit about that aspect, the media influence.
Well, the media is going to report what they think,
Hmm.
which they shouldn't, but they do.
Yeah.
They will say things. Why is the military spending that kind of money on this kind of operations? Why are they putting them pilots in danger like they are? That kind of stuff. They come up with that until the thing works, and then all of a sudden they change their tune.
Yeah.
But it's
Absolutely.
always negative until it's positive.
Exactly, exactly. And then sometimes they forget the fact that they reported the negative first. That's for sure.
Yeah,
Tell us a little bit about the character Josie and the role she plays.
she's the only female, and when they go to sign up for the mission, they're reading it on the bulletin board. The guys come up behind her and start, egging her on. They say, "What are you reading, JoJo?" And she says, "Shut up and read." So they all start reading, and they're like, "Whoa, okay, special mission, special ops, sign me up." So
Yeah.
they all sign up for it. The guys and her are perfect together through the whole thing.
Yeah. Absolutely, absolutely. Josh is an interesting character. He evolves from a victim of tragedy to a driving force behind the groundbreaking military experiment. Tell us a little bit about Josh.
Josh was the one that was Colonel Cutler's wife was killed in the tornado. Josh was severely injured. His legs was crippled. So he came back out of it okay, and in a wheelchair, of course. And he wanted to do something to help as well. So he's got scientific knowledge. He took all kinds of college courses for this, and yeah, he helps the mission immensely. So he's a big part of the character, and again, like I said, you've got someone that's crippled, and here they are. They're some big part of the movie or book story.
Exactly, exactly. Yeah, it's absolutely a compelling element. Now, the screenplay and the book include military training sequences and simulation failures to foreshadow the real world stakes of the mission. Tell us a little bit about that, how you created those scenes, what kind of research you might have done for those scenes.
The military has, of course, flight simulators. Well, they built two special simulators to train these pilots.
Mhm.
In an aircraft, you don't have wind shear 200 miles an hour. You
Right.
don't have lightning bolts striking down at you. You don't have those kind of elements. So when they get into these simulators, they are quite shaken. And they almost like, whoa, I don't know if I can handle this. This is quite bizarre.
Yeah,
But that's how they train them to withstand high winds, debris, things crashing on them. That's how they train them to prepare for what about they're about to go their mission. So yeah,
absolutely. Absolutely. Part of the story also deals with grief. Talk to us about that aspect of the story, people dealing with grief.
well, Colonel Cutler has to bury his wife,
Mm.
and of course it's a sad thing. You only live 5 miles from the town she was killed in. You can't get there to help her. You get there, but it's too late. So
Yeah.
yeah, when you grieve hard, but you also grieving will make you kind of angry.
Yep.
So if it makes you angry enough to to search out a mission like he did is
Right.
what he did.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Are you thinking about writing a sequel to this book?
I will. I could.
Yeah. Okay. But no
I
plans right
could.
now, but you're possibly going to do it?
I would if this takes off.
Gotcha.
You know,
See how
um,
this one does, and then you'll make a decision about the second one.
absolutely.
Yeah, that sounds like a good plan. Absolutely. Tell us a little bit about your life. You live in Michigan. How close are your grandkids? How close are your kids? Are they still in Michigan as well?
I'm very blessed. They're all here. We haven't had anybody leave, so I get to see them all the time. Of
Great.
course, when they want to stop by and see the old man, yeah,
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. And I
yeah.
presume you're retired now?
Oh yeah, yeah. I've been retired.
What kind of work did you do when you were working?
I worked in an automotive lighting plant. Headlights, tail lights, side lights. It was
Okay,
quite
cool.
cool. I enjoyed
Very
it.
cool. Yeah. How long did you do that and when did you retire?
I did that for 20 years and I retired in 2022,
Hmm.
23.
Yeah. Sounds great. Now, were you buying, was this stuff for production vehicles or were these like special lights for custom vehicles?
Oh, cars, trucks,
Yeah.
Jeeps, you name
Yeah.
it, we made them.
Very, very cool. Very cool. How's retirement treating you? Do you like being home retired?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah. You don't have to get up with that 5 o'clock whistle anymore or whatever time you got up in the morning.
Right. Heck
Yeah.
no. 3:30 in the morning.
Oh, 3:30 in the morning you start. As at 5 o'clock, that'd be sleeping in then, right?
Yeah.
Amazing, amazing. Yeah. I don't blame you for being happily retired if you were getting up at 3:30 in the morning without a doubt.
Yeah.
When you were writing this book, did you envision it as a film right away? Tell us about what your visions were.
Well, when you see like Top Gun, like things like that, and you see these cool army movies, and I always loved the jets flying off of a deck of an
Yep.
aircraft carrier. That is incredible. But the military that does this is all branches. Every branch joins in this mission.
Yeah.
So all the branches are here. That's why there's colonels, lieutenants, sergeants, things like that. All branches.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And when you envision this as a film, do you envision it as a TV series as well? Can you visualize this as a TV show?
Sure. Sci-Fi channel, maybe Sci-Fi channel. Just make it into hour increments or whatever,
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
you just keep on going on till you kill that tornado.
Exactly. Well, every week it could be a new twister if it's a TV series, that's for sure. Yeah, absolutely. What are some of your favorite films that might have influenced your writing and influenced your vision? I know you've talked about Top Gun, you've talked about Twister, but talk to us about some of your favorite films that kind of influence you as a creator.
Favorite films? I said Clint Eastwood already.
I know Clint Eastwood's one of your favorite actors. Mine too. I think every guy who's over 60 enjoys watching Clint. And there's nobody else as cool as Clint, that's for sure. I liked watching Steve McQueen. I like watching his films as well.
Oh
Even
yeah,
though he was a little bit before my time, I watch him on Prime or whatever, and his movies were great.
oh
And
yeah.
Chris Pine, I guess, is the latest uh, action hero that you see out there a lot. He plays Captain Kirk in the latest Star Trek movies out there. So they're trying to grow a new set of heroes, but it's hard to replace Clint, that's for sure. That's for sure.
Well, to answer your question, of course I love Star Trek movies. I loved all the Star Trek movies.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that they were my favorites too. So old Star Trek is good, and
Yeah. Yeah.
so I like them all. Special movies. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, especially William Shatner as Kirk. He's my favorite.
Oh,
He was so
absolutely.
dramatic. You had to like it, right?
Yeah, them some of his leading ladies said when he grabbed a hold of them, they're like, "Whoa, he grabbed a hold of
Exactly. Exactly. He's a man's man. And we're glad
them."
we had him in those that TV show and in those movies. He did a great job. You've done a great job here with this book and the screenplay as well. They're both terrific. The name of the book we've been talking about today is called Tornado Intercept. It is an electrifying story where courage meets catastrophe and science dares to challenge nature. Richard, thank you so much for joining me here today.
Well, thank you. I'm just so happy to be with you, and good luck with everything you do. And thank you for helping us authors. Thank
Well,
you.
I appreciate that, sir. Happy to give a helping hand to authors such as yourself, who's done a great job with this book. Really, really riveting. So thanks for your time today. And to the folks at home, I'm Logan Crawford, thanking you for your time this time. Until next time on Spotlight.